Hey, welcome to UK Wildcrafts. Now that my book's done, I intend to start filming more videos again now. And it's the perfect timing because we're coming into a real abundant time of year. So I'm out on this lovely Sunday morning with my basket to see what I can find. And I want to make some jars of pickled fruits. So let's see what's available. First of all, we got these beautiful cherry plums. This is a yellow variety of cherry plum, and they sometimes get mistaken for Mirabelle plums because of the colour. But you'll find that these cherry plums ripen around July and early August, whereas Mirabelle ripen around the end of August and through September. And as you can see, these are perfectly ripe now because they're nice and soft. Really tasty. There's so many of them. This tree is absolutely laden with them. See all of these here? Absolutely thousands. And this time of year, you'll often walk past trees like this that are full of fruit and you won't even notice. But what I do is when I'm walking, keep an eye on the ground, and you can see that there's hundreds of these already dropped to the floor. So that is often how I find fruit this time of year. Keep your eyes on the floor and then look up in the bushes. The good thing is about gluts like this is that you can pick quite a lot to preserve and not feel any guilt, because there are so many that you could pick several hundred and not really affect how many are growing here. And there's so many higher up in the tree that I wouldn't be able to reach anyway, and they can be for birds. And I'll just grab a basket full of the ones that are lower down. And these are so ripe that they're just about ready to drop off. And whenever I collect some, there's usually some that drop to the ground. And just look at all of these under here if you move back the branches a bit. That'll do for this tree. There are loads more back there, but I don't really want to be walking through these brambles with shorts on. And I'm pretty sure there's a load more cherry plum trees around here. Yeah, here's another one. And again, I spotted some of the fruits on the floor. And this one is also absolutely packed with cherry plums. And just look at all of these that have dropped off. These would probably be fine to eat, but I'm not going to because they might be a bit maggoty. And yet another one as well. Look at all of these that have dropped off. I feel like I could get drunk just off the smell of these because they're all fermenting. I found another patch, and a lot of these ones on the floor actually look fine. As long as you're getting the ones that look like they've only just fallen, and you can tell that because there's like a whitish bloom on the skin. If they would have been sitting around for a while, that would have come off. See, like that one, that's fine. And as long as the skin's unbroken and they look quite fresh, then these will be fine. The cherry plums are only a few centimetres in diameter, and you'll notice they're on quite long stalks, which makes them look a bit like cherries, especially the red variety. You know how plums have that distinctive groove down one side of the fruit? Cherry plums have that too, but it's really faint. You can just about see it down there. And they've got that large stone in the middle. Ah, this is a great harvest. Nice and easy. Just picking them up off the floor. What you might find with cherry plums is that you'll get a few years where the trees hardly fruit at all, and then once every 3 to 4 years you'll have a really good bumper crop like we're having this year. So all the trees are absolutely packed full of the fruits. And here we also have the red variety of cherry plum. I'll take some wild carrot seeds as well, just to add as a spice to the pickling mix. There's a patch of dewberries here, but they're not looking particularly appetizing, so I'm going to leave them. I'm also checking the bushes for what I can be foraging soon as well. The haw-berries, not quite ready yet, they need a few more weeks. And the sloes as well. And there's rose hips. It's a great little place this. It's a reserve just around the corner from where I live, where I can come and collect a few convenient forageables. Of course I want to collect some blackberries as well. They're all quite small this year, but they're still tasty. One of my absolute favourite harvests this time of year. Got the damson, and these are perfectly ripe now. I think these fruits have got the most beautiful colour while the bloom's still on the skin. As soon as you rub it off, it becomes a dark purple. I've walked past this tree 1,000 times and I didn't even realise I've got medlars growing here. And these are a lovely fruit. They won't be ready yet. I'll wait and come back in November to harvest these, but there's a good amount of them here. They are funny looking fruits, but they're very tasty. So I think I'm going to give up with the blackberries because they're just not looking very good this year, but I do know some better spots, so I'll go and collect some on another day. But that's the way with foraging, you don't always know what's going to have a good year, because I did have a really good harvest of cherry plums. So I'll take these home and get them made up into pickled fruits. Alright, so first of all, just going to give these a rinse. And now I'm just removing the seed or stone from inside. Because these fruits are really ripe, they should come out quite easily. Alright, that'll do for a few jars. I'll leave the rest of these just for snacking on. And then get your jars. To sanitize these, I just poured some nearly boiling water over them and then dried them by hand. And then you want to pack these full with your fruit. And you can use mixtures of pretty much any fruits for this. It's a lovely contrasting colour, that. Just give them a good push down. That'll do for that one. You want to use a vinegar for pickling these fruits. You can use apple cider vinegar or wine vinegar, but I wouldn't use malt vinegar. And pickling fruits is a very unfussy recipe. You could literally just pour this over the fruits cold if you wanted, but I prefer to make a liquor. So to make a pickling liquor, just put your vinegar into a pan. You don't need any sort of measurements for this. Put in some black pepper, and we've got these lovely aromatic wild carrot seeds. And you can use any sort of other spices that you like. And then just bring that to a boil. Once that reaches a good boil, then take it off the heat and allow it to cool down slightly. You don't have to sweeten this, but if you want, you can use a little bit of sugar or some honey. While this is still warm, pour it over the fruit. And seal up the jars. And put them straight into the fridge. And leave them to pickle for at least 3 days before you use them. And they should last for at least 3 months in the fridge. Pickling the fruits gives it a nice tangy flavour. And my favourite use for these is to spoon them onto yoghurt with some granola.